Members, the House is resumed. Before the dinner break, we were on the second reading of the Summary Offences, Possession of Handheld Lasers Amendment Bill. Ian Galloway was speaking at the time and has 9 minutes.
No, Simon O'Connor was speaking at the time.
Simon O'Connor was speaking and has 9 minutes and 50 seconds remaining to speak.
Mr. Speaker.
Simon O'Connor.
I know that my colleagues across the House, particularly Mr Ian Galloway and the Buddy MP crossing the border into my electorate, Carol Beaumont, have been anticipating this speech. When I was rudely interrupted 10 seconds or 1/100th into my speech, had been talking around a pleasure to talk to the Summaries Offences bill, and the pleasure is not only because this is an important bill and an important members' bill, but it's in the name of my good friend and colleague Dr Cam Calder. He has put an enormous amount of effort, time and passion into this bill, and I think it's great that the House is supporting it here in its second reading. It's an important bill because it's responding to what is really a pretty key area often of abuse, people using high-powered laser pointers. There is plenty of instances in the public domain where helicopters, jets coming into airports have been interfered with, and as someone who's had the pleasure of being in the cockpit a few times over the last few years, you realise that the critical nature of what is occurring, particularly between 0 and 10,000 feet, the pilots are very focused. The last thing they need is a bright, shining laser in their eyes. Mr Speaker, we are taking this very seriously. The Select Committee looked at a range of options, particularly around the penalties. As I understand it, every person is liable to imprisonment for a term of not more than 3 months or a fine not exceeding $2,000. I think this is a proportionate response and sending a strong signal. We're also saying that those with a high-powered laser in their possession need to have pretty much a reasonable excuse, and it's hard to think other than sort of an academic or a researcher why you would need such a high-powered device with you. One other thing I'd note before concluding the call is we, as a select committee, looked at the whole search and seizure element, and initially it was in the bill. In itself, the bill would empower the police to be able to search, seize equipment. It was seen that actually this is already within the Search and Surveillance Act of 2012. So we were happy to have the bill refer to that. It's a good bill. It's been worked at very hard, not only by the Select Committee, but of course by Dr Cam Calder. And once again, at this second reading, I acknowledge the work that he is doing and commend this bill to the House.
Speaker.
Carol Beaumont.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to speak on the Summary Offences Possession of Handheld Lasers Amendment Bill.